I appreciate you listening to our blog post today or watching the video, of course. My name is Meredith Bott of Bott and Associates. And today I want to talk to you about somebody from Chicago, good old our hometown here. This is an article in the Chicago Magazine, so I'm definitely going to give full credit. It was published on March 7th in 2023, so just a few weeks ago. Basically, it's about a gentleman who had died in the area of Gage Park. He had a bungalow home there. I think this home had been in his family for a long time. He lived there with his two sisters, older sisters, that had predeceased him. So he was the last person standing there. His name was Joseph Dancock. And basically, Joseph was 87. He lived alone. He didn't have a spouse. He never had children. And he was pretty frugal. So the neighbors knew him to be the one walking around, getting his mail, making sure his, front stoop is always kind of the snow is taken out. And what happened in 2016 was one of the postal carriers noticed that he wasn't getting his mail, and which is odd because Joseph always got his mail. So the postal carrier actually called the fire station and said, "Can you please do a checkup?" So the firefighter went in, knocked on the door, but no answer. They said, "Okay, we'll wait a little bit, wait a couple days." A couple days later, they came back and they said, "Okay, it's been long enough," and they did a forced entry. And sadly, yes, they found him already dead and at his apartment or his home. And normally this would not be a big deal in terms of a death, in a sense that we do hear a lot about just single people, no family around, that do die without anyone even realizing it. Luckily, there were some neighbors who also noticed, and also this postal carrier that found out about Joseph. So now, fast forward. So this was 2016. He died. House was sold, and that was 2016. Fast forward to present day 2023. So actually in 2022, the treasurer, the Cook County treasurer, noticed that there was some unclaimed property in the state's coffers, and his team was basically saying, "It's getting pretty high here, and we need to find out who this money belongs to." And after it was said and done, what they realized was all this money was totaled up to be about $11 million. Yeah. So this is Joseph, who lived in a little house, who really was very unassuming, never would have thought that he had accumulated $11 million. So the treasurer office did hire a company called Linking Assets, and they are kind of researchers of trying to find people, heirs, and people, as well as people who are just connected to people and figuring out who this belongs to. So they did hire this company. It took them years and years and years to find. So it took a long time to really just find out who everybody was. So Joseph was a Polish immigrant. His parents came here with him, and all of their relatives, most of their relatives are out of town, out of the country. He had a few here. Okay. Um, and like I said, Joseph and his two sisters didn't have children. And so there was no immediate descendants, people under them. So now what does that mean? Well, the state of Illinois says we have to distribute the $11 million based on the statutes of Illinois, which says it goes to, if he had spouse, children, siblings, and parents, it would go to them. But since Joseph had none of those relationships that were alive, basically the law says we have to go upwards to go downwards. What does that mean? We have to create a very, very, very big family tree. And that's exactly what this company did, along with a law firm who had to file this and open this estate. They found, after talking and getting translators, 119 relatives. So insane, 119 relatives. Only some were here in the United States. There was only like 6 in the Chicagoland area and a few outside of Chicagoland area, but the rest were in Poland, Slovakia, and Czech Republic. And they all were surprised about getting this phone call that they had this long lost relative named Joseph. And they are going to get their money eventually. So far right now, they're still trying to pay out final bills. As you can imagine, a lot of this money will go to this company that found all of these people. A lot of the money will also go to taxes. There's some estate tax due because he did die where the exemption is only a certain amount, and then the balance will be taxed on the estate tax level. Then, of course, there's going to be lawyer fees. So by the time we pay everybody off, everybody will get a piece of this pie, 119 people. According to this article, it says that they will all be getting their money sometime. The earliest is probably late summer. Um, but either way, everybody was obviously a little bit tickled by the fact that they had this long lost relative in Chicago, United States of America, that could potentially give them some money that'll change their lives. That will change their lives. Plenty of them will. The amount that they get is based on what level they're at in the tree. So this tree is quite long. The lawyer showed it to be extremely long and how they had to build this family tree. And essentially, each person gets a portion based again on how they were related to Joseph and at what level. So either way, my moral of the story is I'm going to say, why is this important to you when you're watching this podcast? The moral of the story is I wish Joseph would have written down his wishes. I believe that he would not have wanted this money to just go to random people that he probably never even knew. He probably never met all these relatives. Um, and we hope that this money, could have, like, he could have created a will, a simple will. Hope we would have wanted him to do a trust so it's much faster and easier, but he could have given it to his favorite charity. He could have given it to a couple relatives or friends. He could have given it to just people that have helped him along the way in life. Whoever those people that were important to him could have received this 11 million as opposed to random relatives. And I can't implore it more, even more to anyone who has relatives or family members that are that don't have children, so there's no natural descendants, or they've never been married or not married right now. Then it's even more important to do an estate plan because we want that money to go to the people that you want it to go to, not to various parties and lawyers and taxes and all sorts of places that should not be getting the money. So plan ahead instead of having the ongoing situation. He died in 2016, and we're lucky if it finishes up in 2023. So we're talking 7 years in already. A lot of money that could have helped a lot more people that Joseph knew as opposed to random people. So if you have any questions about this or want to do your own estate plan, definitely give us a call here at Bott and Associates. We'll be happy to chat with you. Thanks and have a great day.